Today we have in the studio the new Acous NM20. Acous was previously known as NF Audio and they have rebranded to Acous moving forward. The NM20 is the successor to their 100-ish champion, the NM2. Starting off with an unboxing, Acous treats their packaging super seriously, putting to shame those brands that just slap a render of their IEMs in the center and call it a day. I like how Acous has a brand identity that exudes professionalism. The front of the box has the IEMs themselves together with coherent typography that you can see in their other products as well. Removing the sleeve, you see the earphones on a round circular disc that reminds me of a vinyl record. For those of you who are new to the brand, this was also seen on the packaging of the NM2. I really like the consistency that Acous shows. Below that, you get their in-house MS42 ear tips, which I really enjoy as a good neutral ear tip. Right below that, you get the silver-plated copper cable as well. The case provided is a nice evolution from what they had before. It's made from hard shell nylon with fittings that is pretty much in line with the brand. The zipper pull tab is in the shape of a guitar pick and this motif can be seen on the earphones themselves. Talking about build quality, the NM20 sports a custom universal shape that doesn't look like cheap jewelry where every sparkle screams that you didn't pay too much. Instead, it's made from polycarbonate that is see-through with a faceplate made from the same material with a silver trim on the edges. They feel solid and light, making them great not only for listening to music but also for long hours when using them on stage as stage monitors. Mine is pink in color, but for those of you who are allergic to pink, it comes in blue and black as well. The 2-pin situation here is the same as their previous model, the RA15, where it just sticks out. It's not really a problem as the provided 2-pin cable has a shroud that helps spread the tension around. Even if you use a third-party 2-pin cable without the shroud, don't worry, as long as you're not doing anything too reckless, the IEM will last. Trust me, I have butterfingers and kinda is quite hard on the 2-pin connector most of the time. The cable here is made from silver-plated copper with a 2-pin termination ending in a 3.5mm jack. The cable is twisted and is rather soft, supple and easy to handle. You will notice that the splitter has the NF Audio guitar pick motif as well. Inside the chassis of the NM20 is a single dynamic driver that is basically an upgraded NM2 driver featuring dual neodymium magnets with dual circuits. Paired with it is a dual acoustic chamber design for better air pressure control, and the diaphragm is also beryllium plated. Comfort is great on the NM20. Once they are in my ears, I kind of forget that I'm actually wearing them. The nozzle is a typical size, pretty standard across brands these days. It isn't abnormally large like the Heidi's MP145. The only point of irritation is the ear hook thingamajig that is attached to the 2-pin cable. This strain relief thingy is a little too aggressive and can be a tad annoying to navigate around your ears, but once on, they are pretty much fine. It's just that putting them on, it's kinda annoying. Next up, sound. Acous has a distinct style and a unique signature when it comes to IEMs. The NM20 is an evolution of this style and to me it's for the better. It features a V shape with an elevated upper mid-range, allowing for superior perception of details that many will enjoy. In the past, this could be a bit much, but I'm glad that Acous took feedback seriously and made some changes. This time around on the NM20, the mid-bass presence has been turned up a notch or two. This in turn helps balance the upper mids, make it more palatable for more listeners. All rendered through a single dynamic driver, the NM20 is exceptionally coherent. The lights hybrid can only dream of. Bass. The bass quality on the NM20 is exceptional. Resolution here is top class in its price category. I like that they managed to lift the mid-bass this time, enabling a more balanced presentation overall. Sub-bass is clear, detailed, fast and dynamic. All the good things you'd want. It is surprisingly dynamic despite it being so clinically quick. Mid-bass. Mid-bass carries a lot of the same characteristics and has more presence compared to previous Acous offerings. Next up, mid-range. The mid-range of the NM20 is very focused, with just a smidgen of warmth. While it is not the luscious IEM you'll hear, it will reward you in different ways. The mid-range tuning lets you hear all the micro nuances in music, provided your source or DAP or dongle for that matter can resolve it. Vocals sound very focused, emphasizing female vocals, especially in falsetto, where the focused nature makes them sound so sweet. Male vocals don't have as much grunt, but they make up for it with great levels of resolution. Instruments are also presented with great clarity, giving a precise positioning experience. Treble as with other NF Acous IEMs, the treble on the NM20 has good energy, giving it a nice airy quality. I don't find it sibilant despite its added energy. I like the good levels of extension on the NM20, which allows incisive clarity. It's balanced very well, just enough without being too much. Next up, let's talk about Soundstage. Starting things off with width and height, the NM20 signature gives it an excellent width and height performance for an IEM. Depth and positioning. That was a pleasant surprise. The dynamic bass helps create layers in the music, adding depth. Positioning, always strong on NF Acous IEMs, it's precise here too, with biting clarity. Next up, let's talk about some comparisons. So firstly, versus the Meze Alba. Now the Meze Alba is configured very similarly to the NM20, but has a different signature and technical levels. While the NM20 has a V shape with elevated upper mids, the Alba has a warmer signature with limited treble extension. The NM20 outclasses the Alba in almost every way: better resolution, dynamics, treble extension, air. The only reason I picked the Alba over the NM20 is if I wanted a warmer signature, but for all other things, the NM20 is better. Next up, versus the LetShouer S12 2024. There is a price difference between the NM20 and S12 2024, with the NM20 sitting closer to $100 and the S12 2024 being closer to $200. It's actually $199, but yeah, it's still $199, right? Kind of there. I really like both IEMs, but the biggest difference is the choice of drivers and their inherent characteristics. The S12 2024 has a V-shaped signature rendered through a planar driver. So the thing about planar drivers is that they tend to have a upper mid glare, but they manage to reduce a lot that planar glare for a great listen. The NM20 has a tad bit more resolution than the S12 2024, but for some the treble might still be a bit too much, even though it's pretty smooth. For a more relaxed listen, I'd go for the S12 2024. For maximum resolution per dollar, the NM20 is my pick. Next, some likes and dislikes. I like that NF Acous took feedback very seriously. By introducing more mid-bass to their house sound, they level up the NM20, making it much more dynamic while preserving class-leading resolution at its price point. Furthermore, the product is cohesively packaged, and it's also pretty professionally and classily done so too. The NM20 would be excellent for studio monitoring with its high resolution, allowing you to hear all that nuances. On stage, it might be a bit too much, as you might want something a bit more rounded so that you can actually use them longer on stage. Lastly, I think that the fit and finish is also top-notch. And finally, we get into ratings. So for the packaging of the NM20, it is just simply class. It is very cohesive, well thought out, basically simply great. Bass is fast, dynamic with great resolution, so out of 10 I'm gonna give it an 8. Midrange has excellent resolution and is also very focused, a 7.5. Treble is pretty airy with really good extension, a 7.5. Soundstage, wide, tall, with good depth and positioning, a solid 7.5. And lastly, the enjoyment factor. It gets an A+, but it's honestly very close to an S. The level of resolution here is insane, especially when you think about the price. It is really quite amazing. And finally, in conclusion, the NM20 is a beautiful pair from NF Acous. They have managed to incorporate their DNA and fan feedback to create something really comprehensive. And with that said, thanks for tuning in to the Superchunk Super Audio Show. Do drop a like if you're into it. If you really want to make my day, hit the subscribe button. It's super appreciated. I hope to see you guys soon.